हाँ। हेलो। हेलो।
Era polaco.
Madam, please continue your session. Madam, please continue your session.
Hello.
No.
Hello.
Hello. Madam, please continue your session.
Hello, Dr. Ghosh. Is this session for
Pardon?
is this session
Yes.
is conducted for students or for faculty?
Actually, it is conducted for all students and faculty.
Hello.
Yes, it is conducted for faculty as well as student.
Hello.
Am I audible? Am I audible? This session is conducted for student as
Am I
well as faculty. Am I audible?
the strength? Yes, it's audible, but the strength. Dr. Ghosh, shall I start or shall I wait for others to join? Because the strength is very less.
Yes, you can wait for 2 minutes. After that, it will start.
You are not audible, Dr. Ghosh. You are not audible.
There is some network problem. Now is it audible?
Hello.
Audible? Am I audible right now? Hello? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, just wait for 2 minutes. Maybe students are just failed to conduct here.
Hello, Dr. Ghosh.
Yes, yes, madam. You are audible.
Hello.
Yes,
Am I audible?
yes, ma'am. You are audible.
Can anyone? Am I audible?
Yes, you
Not,
are
or shall I
audible.
wait for others to join?
I think we should have to start because of that already 13 minutes is going on. Total time is 15 minutes.
Hello.
Yes,
Ghosh. Hello.
yes, yes, sir. Yes, madam, you are audible.
Dr. Ghosh. Hello, Dr. Ghosh, please respond.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, yes, madam. Hello, am I audible? Please, madam, continue.
Hello, Dr. Ghosh, please respond.
Am I audible, madam?
Am I audible? Please,
Yes.
any one of you respond. Yes.
Yes, you are audible.
Yes, madam, you are audible, madam.
Am I audible? I'm reiterating several times. Please, any one of you respond at least.
Yes, madam, you are audible, madam.
You are audible enough.
You are audible, madam.
Hello, Dr. Ghosh.
Yes, madam, you are audible. Please continue.
Please do respond.
Madam, you are audible. Please, you continue your session. You are audible. You can continue.
Ma'am, continue this session. Better.
Hello, madam, you are audible. You can continue your session. Hello, madam, you are audible.
So I'm continuing my recap discussion yesterday on physical, sorry, physiological complications. We are individuals who are suffering from blood fatigue, sugar, which is related to stress that I discussed yesterday, rise in blood pressure, accelerated dysregulation, hepatitis, or stomach, insomnia, which is related to sleep, insomnia, that means difficulty in sleeping. Hypersomnia is feeling sleepy more of the time. Body and muscular pain. These are few physiological complications which we found in the research that the individuals are facing in this COVID-19 crisis. Now I will discuss about the emotional and behavioral imbalances which we or the population, Indian population, as well as the population around the globe are facing. The first is hypertension is there, nervousness and anxiousness is there. Hypertension is your physiological complication. Nervousness is there. Anxiousness is there. Excessive anger, exhaustion, feeling of loneliness and depression, fear and powerlessness, dissatisfaction and dismay, apathy, mood swings, Even in few cases, we have learned about drug addiction, inability to solve problems, and several skeptical and compulsive behavior has been found, which has resulted in behavioral imbalances. So these are few emotional and behavioral imbalances. Earlier I discussed about physiological complications, which is actually related with mental health. Because when we are discussing about mental health, yesterday in my session, I discussed that there are three components of mental health: emotional, psychological, and social. As well as mental health is actually made up of emotional, behavioral, psychological, all these states are together build the mental health of an individual. So, in this COVID 19 crisis, it has been found through different studies that mental health has been adversely affected. Several consequences are there which has altered the attitude, altered the mental health of population, resulting into different inconsistencies. So the need of the hour is to use the techniques of mental resilience, which I was discussing yesterday, that I will discuss this technique, how to cope up with this mental health inconsistencies, how to cope up with these behavioral, emotional, and psychological complications, physiological complications the population is getting into in this pandemic aftermath. To first and the foremost, I would like to describe about what actually mental resilience is, because the coping strategies which I will discuss is about mental resilience. So the need of the hour is to transform this mental issues, mental health issues, altered mental health issues into mental resilience. So, what is this mental resilience? It is actually the ability to mentally or emotionally cope up with a crisis. We all are aware what actually a crisis is, what type of situation can be termed as a crisis situation. So the ability to mentally or emotionally cope up with crisis to protect ourselves from the negative effects is actually known as mental resilience. Physical, mental, and different soothing techniques are there, which altogether inculcate in mental resilience. One by one, I will discuss about those techniques. First, I'm going to discuss about this physical techniques to how to cope up with this crisis situation, or whenever if someone is suffering from mental health issues, or any type of stress or distress. But before switching to this techniques of physical, mental, or soothing techniques, I would like to discuss about how the mind takes tension and how the situation is aggravated to depression. First and foremost, there must be a need. There is a need which an individual wants to fulfill. There is a need, maybe the need of hunger. The need can be, there are several types of needs. I will not go in depth of it, but there are several types of needs: primary needs, secondary needs, and general needs. But uh, to focus upon few, for example, hunger is also a need, thirst is also a need, living in a satisfactory temperature is also a need, shelter is also a need, security is also a need, maybe security of loved ones, security of life, security of whatever we have earned, security of job. All these are security needs. Social needs is there, uh, which can be termed as need for belongingness, need for having a meaningful relationship with others. Self-actualization need is there, self-esteem need is there, which is termed as prestige need, or a need for recognition, need for acknowledgement. So need for status, need for esteem, these types of needs are there. Self-actualization is need of fulfilling one's fullest potential, using our fullest potential to the extent we can use. So there are several types of needs: need for curiosity, need for competency. So there must be a need for affection, need for affiliation, need for power. Different type of psychologists say, or theories are there which has defined different types of needs. So I will not discuss in depth about that, but just I'm making you recall that there are different types of needs: need for power, need for affection, need for achievement. Different types of needs are there. So there must be a need to be fulfilled. Whenever there is a need, the individual does something to fulfill that need, because if there is a need, it will create attention in the mind. For example, if somebody or if the student is in BTech 4th year, he definitely wants a job. If you are hungry, you definitely want food to eat. So whenever there is a need, it will create tension in the mind of individual. Tension is not a good state of mind. Tension must be released. So if the individual gets a favorable environment, for say you are hungry and you are getting food to eat, that means your need is fulfilled. You have cooked food, you have ordered food, you have asked someone to give you food from anywhere. Your need is fulfilled. Then the tension is released. Actually, in this way, this need fulfillment has a cycle. For example, there is a need, it will create a tension in the mind of individual. Individual needs a favorable environment which will act as a catalyst to fulfill the need. If the environment is favorable, the individual's need can be fulfilled. For example, if you want to crack civil services, or you want to go into a good job or administrative job, you are trying for it, and you got good faculty, you got you got an admission in a very good institution where you got good study materials or good faculty, good teaching technologies, teaching methodologies, pedagogics, so that you can get into this civil services, so that you can crack this examination and can become an IAS or IPS or whatever officer. So this is a favorable environment. So if there is a need, there will be a tension, because we have to fulfill the need. Until and unless the need is not fulfilled, the tension will be accumulated in the mind. The need is fulfilled, the tension is released. To release that tension, individual needs a favorable environment which acts as a catalyst. So this is a cycle of fulfillment of need. But the question is that when the individual is unable to get a favorable environment, for example, if you are hungry and you are not getting food, until unless you are not getting food, the tension is not released. You need a job and you are not getting a job. You're trying hard. Until unless you are not getting employment, the tension is not released. So this accumulated tension, for example, the tension is not released. So what will happen? It will accumulate further. The tension will accumulate further and it will lead to frustration. Frustration, how can you say that the individual is in a state of frustration? The individual will show two types of behavior. The first is apathy and the second is flight. The state of apathy, the individual will not take any interest in those events, those things in which he or she was earlier very much interested in. For example, if the individual was very much interested in socializing or watching movies or playing cricket or anything, reading novels, but in the state of apathy, he or she will no longer take interest in socializing, watching movies, playing cricket, reading novels. So apathy is a state of mind where the individual show disinterest to the events or things in which he or she was earlier interested in. So whenever you find an individual who was earlier interested in few things you are aware of, and right now the individual is not taking interest, you get to know that the individual mind is in a frustrated state. Okay. The second symptom is that flight is quitting the job, quitting the place. For example, the individual is sitting with the friends, and in the state of apathy he will sit with the friends. He is there, physically there, but mentally absent. He went to watch movies, he is present in the movie hall, but he is physically present, mentally he is absent. But in the state of flight, the individual will leave the environment. For example, the individual's mind will say, quit the movie theater, quit the place. So there are two symptoms of frustration. Either the individual's mind is in the state of apathy, physically present but mentally absent, that is showing disinterest to the things or events in which the person was earlier interested. And the second is quitting the place, quitting the environment. Okay. So, but it is not going again to fulfill the need by quitting the environment or by showing disinterest to things. It is not going to work because till right now also the need is not fulfilled. So the tension is accumulated to frustration. Two symptoms of frustrations are there, which I discussed. Again, if the need is fulfilled at this stage, then it is very okay, frustration will release. But again, if the need is not fulfilled, that means the individual has not get a need fulfilling environment. That means a favorable environment which can act as a catalyst to fulfill the need. Then this accumulated frustration will grow as aggression. The individual will show aggression either on the source, for example, because of whom or because of which the individual's need is not fulfilled. Either the individual will show aggression towards the source or towards others, towards friends, towards family members, or towards any inanimate object. We say that aggression shouldn't be used as a tool. But I say anger or aggression must be released. If the individual is in the state of aggression, what our duty is to pacify the individual's aggression, not to revert back. Because if you find somebody in the state of aggression, you feel that the individual's need is not fulfilled, her or his need is not fulfilled. That's why the individual is in the state of aggression. So whenever the individual is in the state of aggression, he or she is showing any type of aggression, in maybe through voice, maybe through any type of external uh, appearances, through face or through any type of language, or through violence also. So these people need sympathy and empathy. They don't need the same thing to be retaliated, because you think twice and thrice that the individual's mind is actually in the state of aggression because his or her need is not fulfilled. So no need to retaliate. The need is to pacify the aggression. Because if this aggression is not specified, if this aggression is not released, the individuals might go into depression. So aggression needs to be released. If somebody in your surrounding is showing aggressive behavior, don't retaliate. So be empathetic, be sympathetic, because aggression, if his or her aggression is releasing, that means that the accumulated tension, accumulated frustration is releasing. The individual's mind will be at peace. And if this aggression is not released, if it is overlooked, it may aggravate the situation further, and the individual's state of mind can be aggravated in a different way, leading to different type of psychological problems, even depression. Okay, so this I discussed today, how the individual's need is not fulfilled and how the mental state of our mind or mental capability is seriously harmed. So now I'm going to discuss about few physical techniques to do whenever our mind is in the state of tension, whenever our mind is in the state of frustration, whenever we are feeling anger, when we are feeling stressed. So the first thing, physical techniques I'm going to discuss. Putting hands in water, both the waters. That means first put the hands in warm water and then in cold water. Repeat this technique twice or thrice. Put the hand in warm water and then cold water, again in cold water and in warm water. Do this technique simultaneously for 5 to 6 minutes. It will help in releasing the stress. Few breathing techniques are also there. So deep breathly. Deep breathly. Whatever the, close your eyes and deep breathly. Whatever thoughts are crossing your mind, is ideas are crossing your mind, let it be. Don't try to control the ideas. Don't try to control the thoughts. Let them cross your mind. Don't try to control. Because in an environment, there are two things. One which can be controlled and the second which cannot be controlled. We waste our time in controlling those things which we can't control. Rather, we should invest our time in controlling those things which we can control. Okay, we can't control others' behavior. We can't control the environment. We can't control our surroundings, but we can control our emotions. We can control ourselves, our actions. So try to control yourself. Don't try to control others. So whatever the thoughts are coming in the mind, whatever ideas are coming in the mind, if any event, if anything is come, let it be. Don't try to control that at that time, because slowly and slowly you get the power to control. That the yogis do. In the beginning, you will not be able to control your mind. You will not be able to control your emotions. But slowly and slowly, if you practice it, you will be very much able to control your emotions. It has been found in a research again that the human mind, that means human beings are using only 5%. 5%, very rare rest of the individuals are there who are using their 5% of brain, 5% of mind. So see if someone is using more than 25 or 35 or 40, or then how much super power he or she will be. And if anybody is able to use 100%, that means he is the god. The third technique is pick up or touch items near you. For example, you pick few things and try to feel. Whenever you are doing things, you try to feel whether whatever I have picked up is soft, is hard, how much light or how much heavy it is, what is the weight, what is the color. Try to feel it. It will release your stress. Enjoy your food or drink. If you are drinking any shake, for example, these days we are getting mangoes, so mango shakes are there. If you are having your ice cream, chocolate ice cream, or anything you want, or you want to eat, or you want to drink, enjoy this. Enjoy your foods. Enjoying food means You think about how the food is going into your tongue, how this is going to your esophagus, how this is going to pharynx, what is the procedure. You try to feel the digestive process. That will again release your stress. You can take a short walk. It is actually a very important tool to release the stress. While you are walking, don't usually what we do while we are walking, we think of the situation we are stressed of. But while you are walking, I will recommend you to think what you want to be. Don't think of the situation you are facing. Don't think of the troubles you are facing. You think where you want to see yourself after 5 years, what you want from life, what positive things you want from life. Think about that. How you will think about that? I will become. No, I am becoming. मैं बन सकती हूँ, मैं बन जाऊंगी, नहीं, मैं बन रही हूँ. If you are saying I will become, there is a chance you may not become. I can become, there is again a chance you can't become. I am becoming rich. I am becoming intelligent. I am becoming, or I am growing richer in terms of material, in terms of intellectuality, in terms of intelligence, in terms of status. I am becoming a person of high value. Whatever your desires are, मतलब मैं बन रही हूँ, मैं बन रहा हूँ. That way you have to think, because universe has a very important role to play. Whatever you think, whatever your actions are, whatever your thoughts are, the universe around you is accordingly. So one more thing is there. People used to say think positive. Don't only think positive. Think positive and reinforce your positive thinking with positive actions. Because if you are just merely thinking positive but your actions are not positive, or if you are not doing any positive actions, this is completely futile. So think positive and reinforce it with positive actions, and think positive in a way that I am becoming such and such, I am growing. Okay, hold a piece of ice. This is also a physical exercise, physical technique to release the stress. Holding a piece of ice. Do few exercises or stretching. Surya Namaskar is the best one which I will recommend. It is a complete yoga to release any type of tension or stress. It is a yoga which I will say that is beneficial for physic also, that means body also, mind also, spirit also. Body, soul and mind. That means body, spirit and mind. All the three things goes very well with the Surya Namaskar. Listen to your surroundings. Listening our surrounding means the noises around you. What we are doing, that we don't have that much of time to introspect or to introspect within us, as well as to see the surroundings with our lenses. We are watching the surroundings, we are seeing the surroundings, we are perceiving the surroundings, but not with our lenses. We are seeing and watching the surroundings, but with others' lenses, others' perceptions. So watch your surroundings, listen to your surroundings. Surroundings means listen to the noises around you. Sometimes hear the birds chirping. Even sometimes you focus how the traffic is going, what type of noises the traffic is making, how the dogs are barking. You just feel the surrounding. That is the surrounding. I'm not talking about human being right now. I'm talking about all the rest things in our surrounding we have. So listen to the surroundings, listen to the universe, feel. And there is one technique also which is called as 5-4-3-2-1 method. 5-4-3-2-1 method. 5-4-3-2-1 means you either write it in your mind, or you can take a copy or a notebook to write. Whenever your mind is in great stress, that means immense of stress, you can switch your mind very swiftly by this technique. For example, you just focus, what 5 things I heard today? What are the 5